channels, our YouTube channel, all that good stuff. In 1 hour, we'll be talking Boise State with Charles Davis. Right now, we're talking Boise State with Bronco Nation News' BJ Rains. BJ, happy Cinco de Mayo this Friday. What are you doing this weekend? Any partying, bud?
No, I'm coaching Little League Baseball tomorrow, doubleheader. So that's kind of what I'm up to these days. You seem like a Cinco de Mayo guy. Both of you guys probably are going to be partaking in the festivities this evening.
I had lunch at Taco Bell today, and Prater's going to the bars tonight. Every tequila bar in town he hopes to hit up.
Let's do it. Let's get this segment over. We got things to do, BJ.
We're going to have some fun. BJ, we gave you a homework assignment. 3 priorities before now and the season starting, the athletic season starting at Boise State that must be done. BJ, I'm curious to find out where you're going with this. Go for it.
Well, I think the big one and the first one is they need to, get everything done and complete all the steps and get a date that shovel is going in the ground and get the construction timeline and everything done and announced for both the North End Zone project for the Albertson Stadium and for the basketball practice gym renovation. We've all seen the drawings and the things for the $300+ million they want to do for the Olympic Village and all this, but that's broken down into segments. And 2 of the most important segments are the North End Zone project and the basketball practice facility. They were within $1 million of the basketball practice facility last I heard, so I think they're almost all the money they need to do that. That's going to be a fairly quick and easy project, given all the other projects on that list. And then the North End Zone project as well is a key one that's going to help the football team, but also help all of the athletic department, because that'll be where the training table is for the meals and some other things for the other sports. So both of those are key things for the football and basketball programs. And I think they need to, they've been moving forward, raising the money. They've been doing the design and build phase with all the money that they have. And now I think they need to cement those projects, lock them in, and get them started.
BJ, when you talk to guys down there, it sounds like the basketball thing is going to happen first. It's way more, I don't want to say cheaper, but cost effective. The project is anywhere near as big. Tell me what this project is. We're not putting shovels in the ground. Are we renovating old buildings, adding square feet? What are we doing with the basketball project?
Yeah, there may be a shovel involved in there somewhere, but it'll be essentially making what they already have look nicer. And I think the big one is, you guys have been over there, that practice facility. There's some racquetball courts and little areas that aren't being used kind of behind the walls. There's this weird gray area between Extra Mile Arena and the practice facility that right now is like storing the chairs they use on the sidelines, and just area that needs to be cleaned up. And so they're going to essentially move the coaches' offices over to that area. They're going to have glass kind of windows and facades that face into the practice gyms. I mean, a lot of people don't realize this, but the coaches' office is over in the varsity center. So in the middle of the winter, when it's snowing and it's 10 degrees outside, Leon Rice is having to walk across the parking lot to get over to practice. And so they're going to move their whole offices over there. They're going to have a new weight room that's basketball specific. They don't have that right now. The basketball programs train with the volleyball and soccer teams and everything else. They're going to build a separate weight room just for the basketball programs, some conference rooms, things like that. That'll be the large portion of that, as well as upgrading some of the lighting and things inside the practice gym themselves. But moving the whole operations for the basketball programs over to the practice gym and using some empty space and cleaning that up, I think, and make it more of a grander entrance, I think is going to be really nice. And like you said, I think it's only about a $5 or $6 million project for that one, and they were within $1 million to do that. And I don't think it's going to take super long to do as well, because they're not really building a new facility, just adding some walls and tearing down some walls to what they already have. So I think that's going to be a game changer too. They're already using that. They're showing the pictures to recruits and things when they have the visits, but I think getting that thing in there would be a game changer in terms of where the basketball program could all of a sudden rank in the Mountain West in terms of facilities and things like that.
It's funny. It kind of shows where we are right now. BJ's talking priorities, and priority number 2 is a basketball priority, right? It's
maybe even priority 1.
Yeah, it's not just all football here anymore. And that's what happens when you go to the NCAA tournament for 2 consecutive years. And I've talked to the coaches about that too. And it's not like they're complaining that they have to walk a few hundred yards a couple times a day, but it is nice. And most facilities now, BJ, where the practice facility is, that's where the coaches' offices are. Football, I know football's different and football rules, but football, they wouldn't make football coaches have to do that as much. That's why they've centralized football more so So,
well, yeah, I mean, if Leon Rice is in his office and Tyson Degenhardt's out there shooting in the gym, now he can peek his head out there and see him. And they're just a lot more separated from these guys, from their locker room to the coaches. So I think that's going to be a huge deal, and that's going to happen. And I think by the end of the summer, they'd love to have a target date for when that can all happen.
All right, what else is next? That's 2 out of 3. What's the third one?
Well, that was kind of one and a half. But speaking of some other things, lights at the soccer stadium. I know that's a big deal that got approved last fall. They want to get lights installed in the soccer stadium. They also want to get lights/turf and some major upgrades to the softball field as well. You know, guys, if the softball team wins tonight or tomorrow, just one game, they win the Mountain West regular season in Justin Schultz's second year. They're obviously doing big things. You guys brought your show out there for crying out loud to do a show out at the softball stadium. So they're going to have to make some major investments to the softball program and that complex to kind of show what the team is doing. And they're looking like they're going to make the NCAA tournament this year, and they want to hang on to Justin Schultz and do some things and capitalize on this momentum with softball. Turf field and lights for the softball field. They have to, if you win the conference, which they will, they can host the Mountain West tournament next year, but you have to have lights to be able to host the Mountain West tournament. So that's the big thing on their list there. So I would say to some of the smaller facilities, soccer and softball, both getting lights, and maybe a turf for the softball field as well will be number 2 on my list.
All right, he's BJ Rains. This is our Bronco Nation news report every Friday, 4 p.m. here on Idaho Sports Talk. Okay, so there's 2 official priorities there, BJ. What's the last one? What you got?
Well, I think there's a lot of priorities. Retaining staff could be included in this. Getting the capital campaign ducks in a row for that. They're going to announce that soon and want to try to get millions and millions of dollars. But I think scheduling's a big one for football and for men's basketball. You look at some of the future schedules for football and what they have available there. And then basketball, I mean, you're talking about, like you said, a team that's made the tournament 2 years in a row. They've got that tournament down in Orlando, which now features 6 of the 8 teams in the tournament made the NCAA tournament last year. I mean, that's going to be one of, if not the premier preseason tournament that Boise State got in. My understanding in the next year or two, guys, Boise State is pushing to get into the premier tournament, the Maui Invitational, and Boise State, those happen about a year or two out, and Boise State basketball now is able to have that conversation with ESPN after making the tournament 2 years in a row. So they're trying to push the preseason tournaments. They're trying to push the home and homes. There's some neutral court games I hear they're working on. So they think they're going to have a pretty darn good basketball team this year. And last year they made the tournament in part because of how they scheduled, playing at St. Louis, playing Texas A&M, beating some of those teams. So I think how they schedule for basketball this year is going to be huge. And then obviously with football, just continuing to figure out their scheduling formula with the whether it's the Power 5, the mid-major, the FCS team. Do they finally try to find a spot to get Idaho on the schedule? I think the football scheduling is going to be key for Jeremiah Dickey and company moving forward as well.
All right, good stuff. You guys can share your priorities by texting 208-424-9300. Mine's pretty simple. It's just something that I would like to see, and I don't know where the budget comes in. I don't know if it's in it or not. I don't know if they've already planned and budgeted for this or not. But that is the reverse side of the new video board. It's just construction pegs right now, BJ. It just looks like a bunch of silver pegs standing there. I want to close that up and either Fiesta Bowl trophies, maybe some names of famous players, maybe just a welcome to the blue, something inviting, something when you go into that parking lot, when you walk around before the game, tailgating. I mean, that thing is massive. And on the other side, if you have some cool wall art, some eye candy, if you will, something just to walk around and say, "Wow, dude, look at that. That's sweet, man. 3 shots from all 3 Fiesta Bowl moments," or whatever moments they pick. Just something instead of just some silver tracking, silver laddering issue that they have now. Fix that and make it look cool. That's mine.
Prater, I think he cheated because he took the one that's most likely to happen. But I think that something will happen. What at a minimum, Johnny, that'll be like just a big welcome to the blue canvas sign that they drape over it. They'll have something. But I mean, think about it now with how high it is. Like when you get off the highway, that's going to be the first thing you see as you're driving down Broadway into town. You're going to see that thing before you see anything. So you could do a number of things. I wouldn't even be opposed to like a smaller video board on the backside that maybe shows the game to people that are tailgating or can't go in. or at least could have advertisements. But yeah, you're right. Something will happen for that, and that's needed. I don't know how quickly. They might have a temporary thing in place by the season, but at some point, yes, they'll have something covering that, and I'm sure they'll figure out a way to sell it to some sponsors and things as well.
Yeah, and I hope they keep it clean and classy and cool. And there's been a lot of really good ideas, a ton of good ideas. But my favorite so far, I'm not so sure I like the 3 Fiesta Bowls, because we're moving into an era where Fiesta Bowls aren't going to matter anymore, and college football tournaments are going to matter. The last Fiesta Bowl was 9 years ago, and you're kind of exposing yourself. Yeah. I like what Michigan does, and it wasn't my idea, but just take the big, giant blue horse head, put it right there in the middle of that of the back of that scoreboard, and surround it with some really cool LED lighting, and just make it really simple and cool and classy. That's what I'm looking for. My offseason priority, 18,000. 18,000 is the key word here. I'm talking about 18,000 season tickets for football. We all know that the dip in season football tickets started in about 2016 and 17. In 2017, they had 17,000 season tickets. Last year, they had 17,005. I want them to get past 18,000 for the first time in a long time. I know they're pushing it right now. I know they're in the middle of all that right now, but with what they got coming back, with what they did last year, and the trio of skilled superstars on this football team, if they can't get to 18,000 plus season tickets, I'm a little upset by that. 2 years from now, I think they should be pushing 20,000. So I need to see some serious offseason momentum with the season ticket sales, BJ.
Yeah, that makes sense. And obviously the UCF game is going to anchor that, because the conference schedule is not great at home this year, other than UCF. I mean, you do have a potential, division deciding game to wrap up the regular season against Air Force. But for the most part, you're banking on people that want to go to the UCF game only being able to get a ticket to the UCF game. Remember when Coach P came in with Washington, they said if you had season tickets, then you had first crack to buy single game tickets for the Washington game. I don't know if they decide to try something like that, but aside from the UCF game, which is a monster game, not a very enticing home schedule, but you're just banking on folks wanting to see Taylon Green and wanting to see some of the exciting players and hope that you get there. But I do think there's momentum. I think it's going in the right direction with the ticket sales with Jeremiah Dickey and what they're doing. But the 10 wins last year I think helped, but certainly the schedule is not going to do them a lot of favors.
No.
You guys think that's doable? 18,000 season tickets sold. It feels like it is.
Last year.
I'd be really disappointed. I mean, BJ brings up a great point in terms of the schedule, but
what was the number last year?
17.5. They need to get to 18. It has to happen. To me, if I'm Jeremiah Dickey, it's not even an option. We got to get to 18.
I think, I don't see any reason why they can't get to 18. I think that can happen.
Okay. BJ, speaking of tickets sold, we're a month away from the Bronco Nation News Golf Tournament. This was spectacular last year in the inauguration of the event. What about year 2?
Yeah, it's been awesome, man. We added a second flight, so our morning flight is sold out. We're now selling afternoon flights, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, it's going to be a who's who in terms of fans, coaches, players from your local team here that we've been talking about for the last 15 minutes. So obviously Leon Rice is going to be there, and he couldn't make it last year with Team USA basketball, but Leon Rice is going to be there. All of the coaching staff, Mike Burns, Tim Duryea. Down the line, we got volleyball coach Sean Garris, who's a great golfer, softball coach Justin Schultz. Gordy Presnell, I believe, isn't playing, but is going to come out and speak and talk to folks at the event. And then you go down the line with former players, Vinny Peretta and Winston Venable and all kinds of folks, Tyler Rassa and Thomas Spurbeck, and you go down the line with guys. Ryan Winterswick is going to be there, and nice. It's going to be, you guys are going to be out there playing, and we're going to have a celebrity shot with Tyson Degenhart, where for a small donation to the Idaho Youth Sports Commission, you can get your par 3. Tyson will take your shot and take a photo with you out there at the tee box, and we got all kinds of food and drink vendors. And so I know R&R Barbecue you guys work with there. They're going to be out there giving out free samples of food and paddles at Poke and Degenhart dozens from Pastry Perfection. I mean, you're going to eat a lot and drink a lot and have fun with your friends. And there's a lot of cool stuff we're giving away. If you guys can see these on screen, the folks that are watching can. These are the golf gloves that you're going to get, a free golf glove from ICCU. And we've got T-shirts and all kinds of cool stuff. You get a sleeve of balls as well, which might last Johnny the whole 2. But a lot of free swag. It's going to be a lot of fun. We have the afternoon session as well. So you can get more information, bronconationnews.com/golf BroncoNationNews.com/golf. And I know some folks were saying they thought the afternoon foursome was not as cool as the morning foursome, but it's literally exactly the same. You still get the same lunch. You get the same mingling in between, to hear from Coach Rice and Tyson. And I didn't even mention some of the football players, Riley Smith, DJ Schramm, Jonah Dalmas, Alexander Tubner, Kanohi Kaniho. I mean, it's going to be a lot of fun. So you'll still get to be a part of the Q&A on stage and all that. And then you'll go out and tee up after you have the lunch and hear that. And so looking forward to it. Appreciate you guys being out there again with your show, but we do have limited foursomes remaining for the afternoon, and it's going to be a lot of fun. You can work a half day and then come out and play. So we'd love to have folks.
All right, BJ, enjoy your weekend. I hope you're a better manager than your Cardinals manager this year. Bob Beeler was shredding the Birds during baseball.
As he should be. As he should. I've got 3 wins as a manager, and that's almost as many as the Cardinals have, I think. So I do want to mention real quick, Idaho Youth Sports Commission is the beneficiary of the tournament, and they do a lot of great work out there. So the Idaho Youth Sports Commission will be getting a lot of the money from the tournament. So come help a good cause while you're at it.
Thanks, BJ. Good stuff. BNN Report, BJ Rains on Fridays, Prater. We're going to talk Secretariat and Wayne Gretzky. I don't know how many shows are using these two famous athletes on their show today, but we say they're peerless when it comes to goats. There's no peer goats.
Goats without peers. Goats without peers. Let's find another goat without a peer somewhere in sports.
All right. What do you have? We had some good text ones. We're saying that Secretariat, like Prater said, and Wayne Gretzky,